EQ is a tone control and one of the primary tools in shaping a mix. The uses of EQ are correcting problems in recorded audio and eliminating frequencies that are obscuring the sound source in your mix. There are two ways to use EQ: boosting or additive, and cutting or subtractive. EQ plugins have bands that give you central points for cutting and boosting volumes at the center frequency of that particular band. Plugins with more bands are more flexible, but they take up more CPU power. Most digital EQs have a graphic representation of the audio with volume on the vertical axis and frequency on the horizontal axis. This gives the user a quick visual representation of how the sound is being processed. Most graphical interfaces allow the user to click and drag the EQ point to create a shape, and they also have numeric representations of what's going on: gain, frequency. There are three main parameters to each band of EQ. Frequency is the point in the audio spectrum where the band is centered, meaning the tone. This would be highs, mids, and lows. Gain is the amount of volume that you're adding or subtracting. And the third parameter is called Q, which is the narrowness or width of the band. The interior bands of EQ are called bell or notch curves because of this characteristic shape. It looks like a bell. The outer bands have more variable shapes since they affect all the frequencies above or below their point. One type of shape is called a shelf because as you boost it or cut it, it creates a shelf with the frequencies outside of its point. Another shape is called a filter because it's filtering out all the frequencies beyond it. In this case, this is called a low-pass filter because the lows are allowed to pass through while the highs are being filtered. Here's a high-pass filter where the highs are being allowed to pass through and the lows are being filtered. I hope that gives you a clear understanding of EQ and the various parameters of the EQ algorithms. Now we're ready to take a look at how Waves incorporates these elements into their plugins.